What's going on, guys? Here we are with Phyrexia All Will Be One pre-release. I'm going to run through opening a box, seeing what you can expect, going through the packs, and then building a deck from them. Here we're going to be rolling around these three guys, pretty much building around oil counters and seeing what we can do. Give you a little idea of what to expect at pre-release and some strategy you might be able to apply. What's going on? We're going to be popping the Phyrexia All Will Be One pre-release. Here we are. This is what you should expect to get, is this tiny little guy right here. So let's, without hesitation, pop her open. There you go. This is what you get. These are tokens on the front here. Poison counters, I believe, on the sides. Probably going to be pretty useful, seeing how the majority of the things inside of this set is toxic. Here is the box that you get. Generally pretty sturdy. Yeah, got a purple die. There is a pretty rare one apparently that has Phyrexian text on it. I saw a couple of those at the pre-release event last night. Let's see what the promo is. We got this guy, Graza, Unstoppable Juggernaut. Cool. I have another one. He's tucked away right now, but I got another one last night. Not very great. It's probably one of the most common promos, but it is what it is. So without hesitation, you will get 6 booster packs inside of your pre-release. This is what you normally build your deck from, or all you can build your deck from aside from lands. Basic lands. You can't bring extra non-basic lands and put them in your deck. You can only use what you get in here and basic lands. So I'm going to crack these open for you, and we can see what we can get and build from what we got inside of this pre-release. Starting off with Phyrexian Druid. I'll just flow through them, let you read them. You know, maybe get a little focus going. Maybe. Okay. Atomist, Deep Faith, Troll, Splinter. Got a couple of those last night. Pretty cool art. I'm liking the extended, crazy just oil art that they have for this set. Got a couple of these. These are pretty fun. It has a fun trigger. You will hear my birds in the background. Ignore them. They have decided that they don't want to be quiet today, which I can't blame them. Just they're birds. But besides the point, yeah, whenever this taps, if they have 3 or more poison counters, they lose a life. It's pretty cool. We'll take it. I got 3 of those, so if you have 3 of those in the field, you can just tap for 3 and lose 3 life a turn, which is great. Sentry, Expanded Fear, Edifice, and ooh, right off the bat, Dominus Inquiry. Flying, if you would proliferate twice instead, that's pretty crazy. Alright, and remove oil counters from among artifacts that you control. Indestructible counter on him. Look at that artwork. That is pretty cool. So we'll set him off to the side, and then there was the Phyrexian basic land, and there's your might. I will just preemptively take this guy and toss him in here, because you always keep sleeves off to the side. But normally what I do whenever I'm doing this is I like to break these up into colors and work through them once I know how much of one that I am working with. Forgive me, I am currently standing behind a pole that is holding the camera, so doing this is actually a little difficult by organizing them. There we go. Alright, so that is 1. Deck or pouch 1. Let's go into number 2. See what we pull here. Helm, Basilisk, Batterfist, Gladiator, Strider, Mites, Rabble, another Atlas, okay. Affliction, Skull Bomb, Armored, Theorist, Evangelist, White Sun's Twilight. Again, X Life, create X 1/1 colors, Phyrexian Mites. They all have Toxic. X5 is more. This creature can't block if X is 5 or more. destroy all other permanents. That's pretty crazy there. And there's another version of the swamps. So alright, let's take this and we'll now go and sort these out. Somebody is getting into a fight in the cage currently. Apparently somebody is sitting where somebody does not want them to sit. So they are throwing a fit as they quietly talk to each other now. First multicolored, and then there. Sunwaits is pretty cool. As far as I know, so far, I've seen a lot of toxic cards, and it's pretty much what this whole thing is about. But everybody's going to be building toxic at these pre-releases. You need to figure out a way to fight around toxic at this point. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same old. Whoever can proliferate and do as much toxic at first is going to be the winner. Insights, Chorus, Steward, Slinger, Hive Master, Rat, Curator, Chair, Logbook, Sacrifice, Gardens, okay. Colors, tap 1, add 1 minute of color, so we have a fixer, that's good for a deck. This is, a double, a foil land, double land there. And tap X, where X is, Gardens becomes a copy of target non-token creature, value X. Oh, so you can make copies with this. That's pretty strong. I like that. It kind of feels like we are headed in the blue direction right now, based off of the cards that we have pulled. Now, we'll probably end up going multicolored here, but so far, I'm leaning towards blue just off of the cards that we have, but we'll dive into it a little bit more. I'll pause the video once we get everything opened, go through them, and kind of try to create a strategy, and then I'll walk you guys through the strategy that I chose after, we get everything open and sorted. And I have a little second to review everything. Siphoner, Atomist, let's just do this in real time this time. Troll, Centurion, Infectious, Scourge, blue, we like blue, Land, Skull Bomb for blue, return target creature to its owner's hand, we got a bounce, 2 to 4 damage, equipment, second, multicolor, might help us there. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield and under your control, you may pay 2 if you do proliferate. So this is proliferating, counters that we can get. So maybe oil counter proliferation is something that we can do, especially with the mythic that we pulled. Just a thought. Drake enters with oil counters, gets +1/+1 for each oil counter on it. There we go. See, there's something where you can proliferate with the oil counters. So blue is looking mighty fine. And then here we go. Thrun, Breaker of Silence, 5/5, can't be countered, can't be target of non-green spells. Your opponent's controller abilities from non-green sources, your opponent's control. As long as it's your turn, is indestructible. That's fun. So maybe we go green-blue. I'm leaning in those colors right now. And then Mountain Might, I believe. Yep. I'm definitely leaning green-blue right now, just based off what we see. So here we go into pack number 5. Glider, Engulfer, Aspirant, Testament Bearer, Meldweb Strider, Attendant, Raptor, Mire, Scry. There we go. Terramorphic Expanse, we can now search. That's always great in case we need to fix mana in a multicolored deck. The first one I've seen of this, Toxic 2 Menace, Fawn's Progress, 2 oil counters, more oil counters there, we can proliferate. White Double Strike, that's pretty cool. Toxic 2, and then Phyrexian Wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Victor Flame Stroker. Discard your hand and then draw 4 cards. This ability costs One less to activate for each oil counter on this guy. Ooh. Another thing to proliferate, but it's the wrong colors, which is complicated. Then we got plains and golem. So we'll organize this really quick. It's very difficult from behind the, bowl. It is what it is. And boom. Last pack. See what we get. Fun, fun, fun. Alright. Chorus. Steward. Slinger. Another Harvester. Eye. Glider. Maze. Skull Bomb. That's pretty good. Quicksilver Fisher. Blue. Zealot Conviction. Like that. Here's an Immobilizer. Canker Bloom. Multicolored Whip. Cool. Phyrexia Legendary Creature. It's Beast. Red, green. 5 oil counters, and you can see what to do if they remove them. Then we go into a fall and then land. Alright, so those are the cards that we have to work with. From here, I will pause and I'll be back and we can go over deck building and the strategy that I came up with. And we're back. What was 20 minutes to me was one magical internet second to you. Alright, so this is what I ended up with. Here's the spread. I went with tricolor, which is pretty spread out in terms of mana, but I only sprinkled a little bit of red in here. And I also gave myself some card draw with that red as well, which also will give me a little bit of a oil counter bulk as well, because that's kind of the objective of this deck. Everything that I went around either gives my creatures oil counters which can do something, or proliferate, which will allow me to proliferate said counters, which is mostly what's going on over here. I believe there's a little bit over here and in this section, but mostly this is being pumped by oil counters. This is gaining oil counters to do something and then proliferating, or just proliferating, like this guy here. If another creature enters the battlefield you control, pay 2, I can proliferate. If he's out here, I proliferate twice, which is great. I'm not too worried about going 3 color because we do have a Gardens, which will allow us to convert 1 mana into any mana, or just use colorless. And we also have 2 Phyrexia Atlases in here, which can tap for any color. Now, this is 27 cards, which means I would probably put in 26 lands. That being said, I would probably put, let's say, 4 mountains in. Excuse me, I am talking. Give me a second. Thank you. Put 4 basic mountains in, and then 6 of each of island and then forest. And I think that'd be a pretty solid deck. Now I'll show you what I have, in total. We'll go through the blue. I'll show you which cards I picked. Strider for their oil counter ability, adding immobilization, and oil counters. Draw and discard for a little bit of a card switch. Draw 3 cards, proliferate. Tap it, proliferate. +1/+1 for each oil counter. X cards from the number of oil counters on it. Proliferate, double proliferate. Really? Really? Here we go, indestructible. Like, why would I not put him in there? Trample. +1/+2. Oil counter, give a creature +2/+2. I mean, 7/7 on the field. It's not cheap, but, we're dealing with a very set number of cards here, so I'm not expecting everything to be cheap. +3/+0 as long as it has 3 or more oil counters on it. Add 1 of any mana, so that's more mana source there. Look at the top 6 of your cards, add land. That's why I'm not too worried about sprinkling colors, because I have access to getting various amounts of land out. Draw and discard, stuff like that. More oil counters from this guy. proliferation from this guy. Mixed colors there. A little bit of attack here, 2 damage if the creature is toxic, which is pretty common in this set. So you're going to deal 4 damage to a creature, might save your butt for 1 drop. I mean, that's pretty crazy. +2/+2 till end of turn, put 2 oil counters on it. And then oil counter on it for every creature that enters graveyard. Then I can choose a creature not to attack, removing 2. Then we have our skull bombs here. Sacrifice, draw, return target creature to your hand, +3/+3, trample, 2 oil counters, draw a card. And then we have, Atlas, and then these guys. So that's kind of like the objective that I picked for this pre-release. Much, much different than the one I ran last night. It was a toxic deck, which did not function very well, if I do say so myself. But here is what I picked, and this is kind of a strategy going into a pre-release if you haven't done one, what to look for and how you can, string some cards together to get something working.